Recording in.
All right. Good evening, guys. Ken at Tortoise Capital Nightly Strategy Podcast for November 1st, 2023. We'll start with the 30-minute charts. Hybrid swing beginning with Alcoa. Alcoa rolled over nicely, breaks through the PSAR, gives me a second leg down right there, this little recovery and then failure. That's like an intraday COTA 2. So we're short, standard risk box, comes down to a peak in the RL10, reverses. We take the dragon skin exit for 1, 2, 3R. And there's the nice orderly Bollinger Band mean. That's the middle of the river. I'm omitting the river just for clarity, so you can see the all-important 30-period simple moving average that we revert to. And it allows us to see important turning points, like when the RL30, which is the black line, the owl, when that crosses to the upside, and then when that crosses to the downside, that describes the arc of that really nice move. So this is that region in which the RL30 is north of the Bollinger Band mean. So anything south of the Bollinger Band mean is a negative bias. Do yourself a favor sometime and take a clean screen and try this. Just go to daily charts on SPY, just for example. Let's see, SPY. And drop an RL30 on that. Average 30. And then every time the RL30 crosses north of the Bollinger Band mean until it peaks, and that's the owl reversal. And then when it reverses, you're stalking. And when it crosses, you should be long. And it stays north of the Bollinger Band mean all the way to here, which gives you a nice move from approximately 390 to 460. That's a $70 move in this region. And the other thing you're going to just want to notice is that whenever the slope of the SMA 30 is positive, that's a good thing. When the river rolls over, that's a bad thing. And notice how important the crossover points of the RL30 and the SMA 30 are. So if the SMA or if the RL30 is ever under the river, that should tell you what kind of market you're in. And when the slope of the river is negative, what's your hurry? When the slope of the river is negative, you get sometimes some tactical moves, but they don't last, which is telling you that we better be very careful in here. But when the slope of the river is positive, those little moves give you COTA 2 action. But these are tactical short opportunities inside a larger negative bias. So the power of the river is considerable. And you should also be looking at those turning points in the owl. Study that on daily charts. All right, so back to the owl is the 30-period regression line. Has been for 15 years. And I just haven't said it enough times. We said the RL10 is the price. And because in the owl pattern, the two things that have to happen to give you the owl is the dragon has to turn, and the last thing that usually turns is the RL30. So we're just calling the RL30 the owl because it is the health of the trend. And all of these big moves that you see feature the RL30 under the river, the Bollinger Band mean of the river, and then breaks out. And then you get these long sustained moves until the RL30 rolls over, in which case when the dragon and the RL30 rolls over, you got an owl entry to the short side. Meanwhile, everything between those two turning points is up. Simple. AI. So again, the yellow boxes today, we got a PSAR flip, dragon rolled over, owl rolls over, short. It ran all the way down and back up, so we cashed one. Then it continued to fail. We cashed a half, so we got 1.5 out of this one. No overnight risk. Amazon, we're long one on an emerging dragon, holding 2R. Caterpillar, caught a 2. Why is that a caught a 2? Well, because we have lower highs and the RLXD and the PSAR flipped, and I'm taking the standard risk, and that thing paid off with 1, 2, 3R, and holding it overnight because we're on the far side of the Bollinger Band mean, and the RL30 has rolled up, the PSAR has flipped, and it's above this gap. So the next resistance is up in here. That thing is smooth sailing, and if it only gets halfway up, 237 is in range. So Caterpillar, taking advantage of the 10% sell-off. Great American company. Cliff, PSAR flip, owl entry short, 1.5R, dragon skin exit. CVS, so we got a couple in here today. One of them was a harsh sell-off. It gapped down to here. Oh, yeah, so this is a complex one. So yesterday we were up here talking smack about holding 5R, and then that reversed 8R. So we're holding minus 3R on that exit. So that would be a system shock. And then it ran up, ran down, and then started running up again. So I got long intraday on the revenge trade, exiting here for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Caught a 2 on a 1, 2, 3 entry for 1, 2, 3 plus 3. So we ended up net plus 5. That was a roller coaster of a trade. No overnight risk on that either. CVS. Disney, we closed the SSC for about 2R, took the PSAR flip and the supported fall crossing, collected 1 at a dragon skin exit. Dish, no trade. Devon Energy, closed the long for about 3R. Missed the short, so I'll be looking for that tomorrow. EA, we closed the long from yesterday that we held overnight. It started selling off, so we exited for 2. Emerging markets, got an intraday SSC and held it for one and then missed the follow through. Ethereum, we're still holding yesterday's entry. Had that wide stop, just enjoying that all day. It closed very well up in here, so we're holding about 3R, and it has cleared the peak of the RL10, so that feels pretty good. Mexico, beauty. This is a Kata 2 entry, almost an emerging dragon. At 3R and no sign of failure, we added a second position, and that just kept going. So against my better judgment, we'll hold 2 positions overnight with about 6R. Would have been feasible to sell half of that. Brazil, holding 3R, same trade. Intel. Yesterday's, or actually 2 days ago, the entry was back here. So this is in our 3rd day, and it has really closed well. I am only holding 1 position. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 on 1 position. Just put your stop here with a 2R buffer, and you're in good shape. Now, if there's a continuation tomorrow, we'll add a second position with markets money. International paper took the collapsing dragon for 1, no overnight risk. Real estate, holding the entry from 2 days ago, and that one is holding about 5R, closed very well. Could add to that one tomorrow if it keeps working. Coca-Cola also 3 days ago entered on the SSC, and that one's holding 4R and feeling pretty good. So sometimes when you're not in a hurry to get those second positions on, you get a little more room to manage. No trade in KRE. In Mattel, we're holding 3R from yesterday's entry. Closed very well. McDonald's, no trade. Merck, we tried the gap and go, and that fell over, and we lost an R. Probably was late getting out of that one, but everything was pointing to yes, but it just didn't follow through. This turned out to be resistance. Microsoft, this was also an entry 3 days ago as part of that whole tech series, and all those tech plays are all working. That one's also about 6R, and if it breaks above the peak of the RL10, so north of about 347, we'll finally add a second position. Marijuana, we closed the long from yesterday for about 2R, and then it just went sideways. NVIDIA entered finally on a emerging dragon, closed very well, holding 2R, so tech came roaring back today. This was that speculative long yesterday in clean energy. It didn't pay off, took a half an hour loss on that one, and then just completely missed the sell-off that went like 3R in that direction. Just horrible. I looked away too soon. Rivian, no trade. The S&P was kind of a sine wave, but it really closed strongly, and it's back up testing that really crucial previous decision point here that it sold off. It has now worked its way all the way back to that level, and this is a natural pause. Is it going to go to the 10-day high, or does it reverse? So we have a nice cup formation forming. Treasuries, no trade. Tesla added a second position on a Kata 2, and it closed very well. It was really just, I was betting on tech and the fact that we were able to get the original entry in Tesla under 200. So this is a nice round number, and it's above 200, and it closed above the previous peak of the RL10. So this is starting the 3rd leg. I'd like to see it get all the way up to 209 or 210. That's not impossible. And really, the 5-day high up here at 215 is not out of range tomorrow. Finally, U.S. Steel missed the COTA 2 reentry and the PSAR flip, but all in all, pretty good day except for that one 8R reversal in CVS. We got the money back, but it was dicey for a while. This is what happens if you take that daily charts on the S&P and just plot the 30-period simple moving average, that dashed red line. And the black line is the 30-period moving regression line. That's the owl. And then every place that's shaded green is where the slope of the RL30 is positive. So that's where you can be long, and you want to be long. And then you can use the turning points in the owl, and especially these crossovers, as your confirmation signal. You can use these yellow dots at the peak of the RL30, as stalking points. You could also be stalking. God dang it! You could be stalking these turning points on the downside. That's where you start getting the owl entries, and you actually get to front run that move. If you can front run here and here and here, you can actually get an earlier leg up and then have it confirm when the RL30 crosses the Bollinger Band line. So just something for the researchers out there to consider. I got the boys back testing that one at Muppet Labs. All right, so this is a sniper trade of the day, 3 minutes, Alcoa, OR3 in the blue. Second bar breaks down, so we're short at the red dot. We're using the yellow box as the risk box, the standard risk. One, two, three, exit, and then after the RL10 turns, just take it and get paid half an R instead of waiting for it to hit the dragon. Just take a half an R and be happy. I wait for the RL10 to come through the dragon, hits the PSAR, so I'm long at the PSAR flip with the standard risk box. Cashing 1R on the dragon exit. Got a little, maybe I was a bar or two late on that. I take when it crosses the VWAP, I go ahead and get short. It's a risk box to the top of the dragon and to the PSAR dots. So that feels like a natural short. The summer has turned to fall. Natural short. Fall turns to winter. Collapsing dragon twice because you have this one, but you also have this one. So this feels like a really strong signal to the downside. You had this little roller coaster, from the start of the day, 1, 2, 3, but now you have a real decisive move. So second position. Third position, because why not? Fourth position, collapsing dragon, because why not? Standard exit when the RL10 hits the PSAR. Could you gotten out here? Yeah, had 10R in hand, was willing to give it a little run. And then when it broke, now you could have exited here and then re-entered there. That's fine. but that's about, not counting this one, that's about 10R from the first entry. Sniper trade of the day. Oh, it's not done yet. That's right. So there's a re-entry for another R, then an SSC entry the other way for 3R into the close. So about 12R, 13R. Alcoa, standard work. And notice the VWAP magnet trade where you get this maximum excursion late in the day away from the VWAP. And then this is everybody closing their positions with leverage and buying inventory. And then it closes vicinity the VWAP. That is, we call that the VWAP magnet. That is a standard play that we cover in the advanced day trading course. VWAP magnet. You know, today was kind of a turning point. The VTI shop closed today. No more sales from their stores. Now, we got a lot fewer charts today. Maybe it's because we said you're supposed to fill out the your daily after action review. We'll see. Oh, this was from yesterday. Sorry. Okay, so here's. All right, now, George, you're supposed to provide a daily AAR summary on days where you post more than one. Let's just slide today. But I do like that you are adding patterns that you see that you didn't take so that you can start getting an appreciation. This is why you might want to start appreciating the Kata 2. There's also a Kata 2 here because you have a low and then a higher low. So that's Kata 2. You get paid on that one. And then this one gives you that crazy move. You would not have lost money on that. It comes back and then you take, this is a reasonable one. Now you let it come down through here. Now, when you get to here, you took a second position. There's no way that's justified. I want you to have 2R in hand before you start putting second positions on, because now you lost 0.5 and 0.8 on something that the maximum favorable excursion was about 0.3. So that's gambling. That's trading with your feelings. And then on this one, when we are more than 2R in hand, we can't let that scratch. This one is nice, by the way. What I want you to notice is you have your PSAR and it crosses the VWAP. There's your VWAP. So that's a crucial entry. That one's good too. Even if you don't get that amazing run up, you get paid inside that little move. A lot of this is working on your day job and not paying it, not having the ability to be close attending. Yeah, collapsing dragon. Yep. Second collapsing dragon. This one is nothing. It's not a pattern. Trying to figure out what you're looking at there. Really, if you really want to see it break above that Bollinger Band pinch, so that's kind of premature. Now, if you do take that, but it fails immediately, then you should be short here with a stop and reverse because that's the collapsing dragon and it violates the VWAP. And then you get paid here with an exit at the edge of the dragon. And then SSC, which should exit here at the edge of the dragon. You could get short here because it's crossing the VWAP. And then this is all just chop. That's not an entry, I don't think. Yeah, maybe it is because you had a strong move, pull back, then maybe a cotta two, but that's certainly a cotta two. This one's okay because it's resting on the VWAP. You might have given that a try. That's the one you really got to nail because it's a cotta two after holding at the VWAP, and it's probably close to an emerging dragon. And then you could exit somewhere in here. This is a reasonable one because you're crossing the Bollinger Band mean. The Bollinger Band mean is rolling over. And if you don't get that one short, then you can get this one short because that's a cotta two. And you can get that one short because it just broke the VWAP and everything is pointing down. And then you think it's going to come all the way back to here. And that's a reasonable move. None of these are patterns in here. This one is a cotta two because you had a strong move and then a cotta two. But when that one doesn't work out, you don't just keep taking it. All you're doing there is chopping around in the middle of the river. You get one shot at the cotta two, and if this works, then you get one more cotta two and one more cotta two until you stop getting these winning moves. When it starts chopping, you're done. This short, fine. Exit here, that's fine. You went long, cut it here, and then why stop there? Big move. And on this one, the downside is the one you want. You want that one short because you're so far short of the VWAP that you have, it's a negative bias day. That move there, now you can argue that this is a VWAP magnet. And even if you wait for the emerging dragon, somewhere in here, there's an entry. Now, it doesn't pay off so much, but you get something here. You won't lose money. Let's see. Sideways quiet channel, Z3 pinch. There's your Z3 pinch breakout. Exit at the skin of the dragon. SSC, cotta 2, cotta 2, cotta 2, and then probably exit here. Probably re-entry there and a quick cut. Then you don't take that one because if it was going to break through the VWAP, it should have broken through here and it didn't. But those are pretty good. Why are we losing money on those? This one, entering second and third positions way too soon. Way too soon. You got to have 2R in hand before you put the second position on. My brother, this is on NVIDIA on 30-minute charts. This was yesterday. Was this yesterday? Yesterday he got the initial position on. Today he adds a second and third position at the 2 and 4R battle drills. Quick exit for 6.6R. That's why you wait. Then he gets the rollover, then a cotta 2 reentry with markets money and being ready to hold that overnight with markets money because of the strength in tech. That's a good play. And we're in the third day of recovery in the S&P, so that's looking pretty good. Let's see here. I'm looking back here. This should have been short. I can't see if that is or not. With an exit here. Now you have a low, a higher low, but then a gap up. In that gap, if you're quick, if you're ready, you can get that long and then get paid and then probably cut it there. So the turbo entry that you do take is a COTA 2 with this risk, looking for that reward, which is reasonable. Takes a turbo exit for a fraction near the close. Next day, suffer all the way back to here. There was a re-entry available here. And then on today's open, there's a re-entry available in here. The one that got away. That's true. They will do that. Let's see. So here we are in the daily report. This is the 150-day look back. You know, the 150-day high, the 150-day low, 30-day high, 30-day low, 10-day high, 10-day low, 5-day high. And we're all the way back up off the bottom to this all-important decision point here. So we've made that nice tactical bounce. So we lost, we gained, we lost. At that decision point, instead of recovering, it failed another leg, and now it's recovered that leg. So all we've done is get back to this crucial price at about 424. And there's an equally strong argument that it can go either way, large. So you got to play that as a compound critical state. You got to recognize that over the last 3 days, the first and second mice who came in and bought the support level, remember we've been talking about this as support, it held and gave 3 days of gains to here, and it closed well. But all it did was just get back to fair value. And now these guys are all wanting to preserve profits. So if it doesn't start working right away, then it's probably coming back. And then these prices here at the green lines are showing you where the price levels are that would start confirming, like tripwires, the move. Now, it doesn't get out of the tactical space till it gets above, say, the 10-day high and then the 30-day high. And that's up around 438. So that's what the 150 looks like. And notice that the slope of the river, the all-important 30-period Bollinger, the SMA 30, the middle of the river, is still pointing down. So this is just a tactical move, and it's come back to the edge of the river, just like it did here, just like it did here. And in both cases, the last two cases, it got slammed hard. So you're not allowed to be surprised if it gets slammed. If there's another leg up, then it has to get through this price level to be serious. So this is a tactical space. We're wondering, does it go north or does it go south? That is a perfect compound critical state, perfect for short-term traders. Tech is in the lead, but that just means that they've got some gains to preserve. So be wary. That's what it looks like in closer detail. You can see those turning points. This is the P1 where the R10 crosses the 30 and the dragon turns. This is where the owl turns. This is where the RL10 turns. Right at the Bollinger Band mean, price got to the Bollinger Band mean and failed. Now price is only halfway to the Bollinger Band mean. Oh, I'm sorry, it's up in here. So it's up in here, and what's it going to do, here or here? We'll find out tomorrow. Stay tuned. 30-minute chart. So this is all the brave souls that are buying down in here at the turning point, at the buying the PSAR flip, crossing of the, now notice how the 30-minute river turned, and that's where the RL30 crossed the SMA 30 on the 30 minutes. So that's, and it turned to the summer. That's all good. So you got to pay attention to the RL 30 and the SMA 30. They're both used in 30 period look back, so statistically significant, but one of them is much faster. That's the slow one. That's the fast one. That's the slow one. Simplified market condition. If the slope of the SMA 30 is positive and the RL 30 is north, that's good. If the slope of the SMA 30 is down, that's bad. And then these little reversals are just tactical returns to the mean. That's all they are, until they prove that they can get through. We are in such a compound critical state. Sideways volatile, as I have said, is the ultimate compound critical state for short-term 30-minute, 3-minute bar trading. We've had a little bit of gains, but don't lose sight of this. This is becoming slightly favorable. Still like some intel. Lots of auto framers, some strength in Walmart, Verizon, Intel, and IBM, the old school tech, getting it done. Today it was, listen to these names, old school tech: Apple, Intel, Microsoft, NVIDIA, Tesla. Those were the big winners today. Until further notice, that's what's happening tomorrow. So we made that call 3 days ago, and we've been benefiting from identifying the tech leadership early. ETF, same issue. Lots of auto framers favorable. Lots of good fraud quality numbers that are high. XLK leading the way. Buyer's market for the auto framer. Tesla's at 6-1. Uranium was pretty good. My brother wanted me to come back and highlight that. Yeah, uranium still showing goodness. Spring is sprung. Summer is where the leaders are. Look at the leaders over here. Walmart, Amazon, Microsoft, McDonald's, Coke. Old school, Main Street, plus some tech. You want to look at the ones that are in the green on the 10-day and 30-day, because that's where the longest term strength is. Intel, Walmart, Microsoft, US Steel, Cliff. Over here in the ETFs, it's Mexico. Yeah, don't lose sight of the fact that we've gotten, when the RL30 rolls over at the Bollinger Band mean at 0 sigma, and that's the sign. It came down to -2 sigma, and all it's done is come back to -1 on that strength in the 10, but that can still keep going down. So the legs down are bigger than the legs up. So all it's done is come back to the edge, of the river here. This time the rebound got to the far side of the river. This time it got to the middle of the river. This time it's gotten to the southern edge of the river. So if it fails here, you're not allowed to be surprised, but it has to get above the edge of the river at 4:30 to be significant. All right, that's everything we got for today. So let's be ready for these guys tomorrow. Yeah, trading ratio, marijuana, Tesla, uranium, clean energy, NVIDIA. Intel's in the top 10. Looking pretty good. All right, guys, we'll get them tomorrow.